ᓄᕕഅᓗဣథ ᓄᕕഅᓗဣథ ukiunga 2026. Uvagut ᓄᕕഅᓗ ipilukak jinik pakohak ulukaktumin kuleaktogineaktok. Hin ᓄᕕஅᓗlu kakitiginearia atnago market Elias ikahongmitnami Inuvialuit kuleaktogineaktoklu davni ilauginikami White Fox Jamboree mi Pekhamiraginikkangat davni ikahongmi kuleaktogineaktoklu huliraginik davni Daineaktungalu makbiganik tohararanik Inuit huliragabinik Inuvialuit Mikiracheniklu umagmutan ilihautiniaktunga okauhenit. Aglan pangmapak ulokaktumoganiaktugut davni ipilukak kuleaktogineaktuk. Uvlami Jane kanukit bit.
Ukaktitäulama.
Ariga ang marak kuleaktot larutin.
Ublume ulukaktormi ulhilakkiqaalu ಪಿᕙᓪᓕಅᓪನಿಥ nutaqat ilihaktut uvattiagu iliharuarmigumiga ullamaniarmiyun aulattiartorlutiglu hulilukkaarlutiglu imma uqauhiptigunu qarpaktugut innuuhiptigni uqauheqqu tammaqunagu tatsali uqauttivut uqarahuarpaglugin humileqqaa itkaluaruvit aullaarrimalguvilluunniin aimaguvilluunniin uqartunik uqalukaartunik tuharnaileqpalliagioq inungmiuleraangan tatsa atauttimmi illuta inerneqartilluguhuli uqalukaarahuarpagluhi inuinnartu uqauttihi tammaqunagin quanarpia imani inuvingmul uqauttini uqariartuqap tatamaanun aatsikkiilertuq uqauttivu tammaqpalliajut ima uqainnarungnaarpiarapta atauttimmult uqauttinnaunarriutu ilitsoqilertu tatsa ihumaginahuarlugin hulilukkaartut inuin hulilukkaaraangamik hunaleqa atortaartig inuinnartu uqaleraangamit kiktalva unipkaanngortutu ilitpaktoq uqauhakuikkami innuutsutigigaptigu qanortut imaanaunaiqtuinnarrimaittumik piaraangannakuuyoq nutaqqavut aimalukaartut tamaita inuinnartut uqauhiitigun uqauttinnahuarpaglugit kiuyaugaluarlutit qablunaatut tatsa inuitamarmik uqauhitig uqarungnaaqpalliagamitkin inuinaliahulukaaleqtut tatsa aullaalukaaleqtut iqalukkiulukaartut hunanik angutinik tingmilungniqinertun ippagaanittuq malruiqtorruni nannormalruiqtorruni tikitpaktuq kangerrungun hamunga iklungmahaannuanganut inuit pivaktaitsaaqarriataavlu ilangapivlugu tiikin taptuunaplu atauheqpia aippa angutit pihukpallianginnaleqtut upinngaaраанgat aullaalukaartut munaqanahuarpaglutik hunalleqaa qinerrimalugit quanarpiartuq angulukaartut payuktaqtullu quyagilerpaktatka anguniartikkeerama quyagiyagihi inuitamaita hulilukkaarnermik tatsa ilihallukaartullu piaqqungnallumullu ilihaqtut Hamlet office mitautukta tuhamayatka ilihaqtut piaqqungnailerukkun inuitamarmik upinnginahuat auinahuallu nakuuyumik pinahuarpaglutik piaqqungnaittumik inuunahuarpaglutik quanarpiartuq укалукаартиттиют инуиннартут икаюлукаарту инерниккааниглу инерниккааллу путуурутигамит киктаттингнут тахиит qulillaaниго аглулиортаит инуит аулаттиартулукаариангинни aulatiartorumayut qanilequmun orpilingmullu kunauptahianullu Father's Lake mullu talmunga putuliorrimayun aulattivikkanun qaanarpiaqqu nakuyumik inuunahuarpagmiluta upinnginahuarta anguniartul ikayulukaarlugi talvuuna ilihartullu angutin huinnik ilihautivaglugin atiinnik hunalleqaatamaita hunamiglu unipkarakamningnaluqqalerpunga aneqattainnayuinnama qaanarpiartuqila inuina tatsam uvlumi mutikinmata aullaalukaaleqpiarami qaanarpiartut qunniariami aulattilukaartu iqalukaartut takunnarrivalermata alianarpiartuq aullaartu nakuyumik aullaaqata uvaglutik auyajutikkamingniklu inuin ilangin agiarpalertut igluning anguniarvikkamingnut qayartulerumik kaassiliinik taavunga agiarpaktut ṱuhaamiyatka uterpakkamingnakuuyut qaanarpiartut angutitkimi munaqinahuarpaglugi tikeqattainnalaqtut ippagaani ittikintuunnertu atauerriniktilluga takunginnapku quglukkaluaqquun qanilequhunnuamu taamani amiiailermata piksani qunnialerap quyagivaffi iuqauhihikihimippuigortailivaglugin uqaraangan unipkaaraangan inuinnartuluq unipkaaraangan hulilukaarninnuaq alianarrivaktoq tuhaamavlugu uqauhiptigun qanungmiluhila
Kanukitpahiladavani
ilaqqeraaluk
Inuit
hilaqqeraaluk iqinnaartuq anoqqaakaffuktormikiunnuamik apun auktuuqtileqpiartuq upingaartuugami
Inuit aullaaqtuqpaaraqtut anguniartuqpaaraqtutlu
anguniarpaktun aullaarpaktu ippaggaq anguniartit anguheqiit anguniartittiyut nanorneramik qarritiyun anguniartut kingulleqiaq talva Travis uqarta anguniartikkani tikittun ippaggaq
ehe ahinlu kanukitpata Inuitavani uqarparpathuli inuinnartun ilihautuguvitlu
iliharpaktutkiaq iliharvigmi inuinnartu uqallukaarnerming ilihartuniknaalagiartorungnerpiarama aimainnalерама aanniarun hanguinarhunriinnarmanuvuga aanniartailinermun hanguttialiuinnama nakuunginnartuugaluat uqauttitik uqarrimmaarlugit inuin huli amigaviaktut inuinnartu uqayuppiartu uqarrimmaarahuarpaglugi nuteqqahi ilihautihimmaarpaglugit uqauhiptigun uqauhipta hungorrimayaatigu talva inunngortigimayaatigu tahamungammut talva uqautti hakuikkaqahuarpaglugu inuuhiptingne
kanuklu ilihautuguvit panin biigortailikuvlugu uqauhiangatnik
uqaqatigilerpaktara aimayaraangat ahiniitngittaraangat merrulukaaraangallu igauyalukaaraangallu hulanaleqqilleqqaa ilihautivактара inuinnartuluqarrunga ilihimanahuaquvlugu ima ayuriamini uqayuittoq kangerrinahualerpiaraangami inuinnartu uqarvigiyaraangapku uqaallapaktoq uuktorniartunga uvanga talva uuktorniartumippiipaktoq ippaggaqtarunniutiyara aulattiartorrimayoqaingmat hiqineq qulvatiilluguhuli innarahualeramalu heqiniqtakunnarman huli unniutiira heqiniqarvertoq hunattau arvertumi aperringman unniutiira qavlunaatut heqiniqarverpaktoq talittunneeraanga nunami talva unniutigukku quviahuppiartoq oqqauttinilanginnu taqqatuhaayuitait oqqautivaluit qavlunaanginna innaungitsukkut inuinnartut ilablugu piaraangat atpayuittuurniutivak heqineq arviraangami taliyuittoq heqineq
Riga Berg ilihautiqavit panin inuinnartunukauhinik taitnatlagumik atlat inuit nakuliartoq inuafaanik taitnatlagumiklu hinlu inuingmikatimakapta Inuvialuktun inuinnartunukauhinik okaqparagniqquatlu anguyongniklu tamatquat kilauhingniklu unipgaanik atungnaqqtuaniklu kuliaqtuatlaviu
i huqulayaraangat aturaangat hunaleqa atuut ima unipkaanngorpaktoq inum atuuhianga aahit iliharrugu talva ima hivuniptingnun aulapkarahuarrugu atuuhiulerpaktut imaattau atuutainnarnik uvaptiguttaa ilaani atuuliulerpaktugut ilavut ihumaginahuarrugit ina ihummain hivumuut aulaututikkaat pimavlugu ulapqiuyarnerillu ingilraat ulapqiuvaktaraluavut mallukitarlu tahapkuat atuutiliugaluat atuuti itqaumayungneerpiarapkit puigortatka
kinna ilihautivatin taitnahinik atuutinik
maamangma ilihautivaktaatigut atuuyaalukaayukkami huligaangami meqquuyaraangami luunni ima quviahukkaangami atuuyaulerpaktu atuutkiimi atueq puiguyuit piartara attiama kuniluup tiguaqimagamiu hayulaap talva kuniluum ilihautivaktaagooq atuutinik talva iliharvigiplugu atuuyalerpaktoq
Inuit ingilagaanihaq taimanilu ilihautigurat inuit angiyuqaangit anaanangitlu mikhoganinik ilihautivavatinlu taitnahinik
meqquunermi ilihautiyaangalu maamainnaungittum tangivlu uiraqtivlu ilihautivaktaatigun hunaleqa maamaga ilihautiit piaraluarami arnaquhiuvluni inungnin iliharrimagami ilihautivaktaatigun ayuitaminik meqquunermiglu uvanga tiguara talva aannuqaatiortit paktara inmigun meqqorpaktoq inminikammiliorquni pualuliorquni atikluliorquni inmigut meqquyayukkiyoq 16 years ingortoq tatsa atauttimut ukiungin tatsa uktuuyaqahualertoq attangmi kalikugaanik atigiliortarigamiuk attani attaa tatsa tuktuuyartuumu tingmiarriuriartoqimaya
riga aullaaqtugurahilu
aullaayuppiartoq tiguara inminiklukuviqittuarruni auyami iqaluggiorpaktoq ayuqqaviakkaluarruni ayuiqqaqaminakuuyoq ilihautiqarami aappangmininnakuuyoq aulautivlugu maneqqamutaavunga qayalihungmu talva ayuiqqarpaktoq aappangminit kuviqinermik aippaangani kayurluglu qungaattuhuglu avaliittunnuamik qayartorrut ikuviqqinauqit pakkamik hivutuyumik pauqqutik pigaluartu Qoyagivaagaatalva nuttaidernerra ikuutaq ikayuriartormani qoyahuppiartoq qaanarpiartu iqalukkami tiavaqqaarrune angit qiyaq iqaluk nuttait kunnunagitiyarannertaa qoyagiumablugu ikayuutaa qaanarpiartoq taimannami qoyahuqqiyaarluni qavimmakkimagami qaanarpiartoq
Ariga Queenakparak apilukak kuleaktokavet uvlupak.
Juanalo ilaanittaugmaspi
Ilan nilutapepek. Ja
okay
kukula fagenerikken. Okay.
okay
Dautuk dohi ipilukak jinik pakohak ulukak tumi kuleaktokami. Uvahin dautuk niaktuhi makpirangit akhlaker ting mirolugat. Dautuk laking utak niaktugat 2 minutes mukban. Dautuk dohi ipilukak kuleaktokamilu ahin akhlaker makpiranga dautuk nikhahi ahin teman namakpirak aglakhagnaqwak ting miralangat akhlagaving muguruk inuvingmin bingahulimami hanuhigavingmi adauchagami uvlangat nilu dallimegani uvlangat nilu inuvingmin aulaguruk uvlami 11 o'clock makpan ahin ticket tour akhlagaving mun 11:15 uvlami ahin akhlagaving mi aulaguruk 11:45 uvlami ticket tour tikiguruk inuving mun nagaka 12 o'clock mukpan inuit ting ᓕᕗ inuving mun nagaluni akhlagaving mun kukulat lagiki akhlaker havagavengat adauchagami uvlulimami dallimeganil milu Friday limami 8 o'clock minganin uvlami 4 o'clock managlan hanuhigaving milu ang magurut kukuagavingat 9 o'clock minganin 1 o'clock managlan kukulat lagiki kukuagavingat 867-777-3555 Ugota hin makbiganik tahararanik daigwaganaktunga Ichachranik Inuit nunangatni huliragabingnik akimanik kwat ukiupak Arctic Inspiration Prize me Hin hipit logo $1.4 million nik maningnik. Hin ukwat huliragabingnik akimanikwat. Pinghongnik huliragabinget nunaptingni malongnik lu Yukon milu nunangat akimanikwat lu adauhik nunavik Quebec mi. Ang inikraungat akimanikwat $500,000 nik dokloginik nga atinga taniktun. The land remembers us. Nunaptingni huliragabingnik dait na atauchimu kublugit residential school gayagurat nudat Inuit kitungat nilu Inuit atauchimu kublugit aulaktut lakablugit lu aulaktuk bingmi dait na ikayu kublugit ikayu ranik lu nagulha kublugit Inu hingat bitko hingat lu hongara fa kublugit hin lu Yukon mi ilihagbengat huliragbingnik Taman na dokloginekangat taniktun Southern Lakes caribou in the schools ay chuginikangat $475,000 nik aulaktot lakablugit nudat Inuit nutakkat kindergarten minganin grade 12 managalan dait na ilihautik kablugit tutunik tangongichot Inuhe ilihimaringatlu hin pinghongnik huliragabingnik $100,000 nik akimanikwat itkil daneo kauhingat workshop liu kablugit kuliak atchaginikangat the stories we tell nunaptingni hin atugu kamidlu ukauhingat ilihaudri kamidlu kiniktuagaliuniklu hin lu tangongichot tourism collective an Arctic drone soccer program nunavik milu akimanikwat Dokloginekangat taniktun earth, fire, and flood nunaptingni daudak lakablugit Inuit hila atlangukman ilichit lakablugit Inuit kanukhi hau kamit nunangat bitko hingatlu tamatkwat akimanikwat ichugneagait $96,400 nik davni kulit hihamanik ukiuli mami dait na hinig Arctic Inspiration Prize mikatamanikkwat ceremony nik tanikton pikkangat davni kwanlin dan bitko higabingat ni White Horse mi inuving miyahin Anglican angagibingat umingnekwak talimaniko kiunik daimini nubagyak COVID-19 heming nekman ang mafak kamiragnikangat angajibingat hin umingnekwakuk akihubiragnikman ang makamikuk hin ikayuronika bibirakanitnamiklu dait na kuliagnikwat ang latchit angajibingat ni hin Jennifer Knight minihita niyaktuk ang latineray angajibingat hin tiking nikwak inuving mi Uvagut TV yagaving mi takkakiumi hin lu aptabiragnikwak bulakaraganikangat Inuit inunegvingat ni inuving mi hin bulakaraganikangat lu Inuit hanahuili mamilu kinagaunik ang ajugurat lu kuliaktuak lu ilihimarok Inuit pikpagibiragay atanikpot dait na humilikha pulaktak kamilu kuliaktuak inuving minyaktuk ataramik malongnik avanikokyonik 2028 managlan hinlu kubehok paraktut Inuit inunegvingat ni inuving mi ang ajubingat ang mafaginik kamigok hanahuigving mi ang ajubingat ang latinerait aulaktagving mi Bible camp nik taiguay taniktun anak kami nudat Inuit ukiulirat talimanikokiulik kulit daw hinik mo naglan Alberta gamiutat daveni mong niaktut inuving mong niaktut dait na nudat Inuit katimatlakablugit hin kuliaktuak inuak par nik huliragabing nik biniaktut ang ajubingat ni inuving mi dait na ang ajubingat ang mafari ni kami ang ilhari nagait hulirag fanik biniaktut Bihuvirak Kvehok Barakut Inuvialuit Pivalliajut ang ᓪᓗ Pivalliajut Inuit Davanimuhuktot ang Pivalliajut Dennis Allen Inuvialuit Kuleaktok ᓄᕕᐊᓗ ang Pivalliajut ilagparugurak mikingagamilu hinlu habakatiginikkangat atlat Inuit Inuvialuit lu ikayukaplugit Inuit ukpigifakaplugit mikingagamitun hin kuleaktok mikingagami anginiraganiakamiklu ᓄᕕഅᓗᐃٿ inuakpart ang juleaguratlu kuleaktok hanuhilimami Inuit ang ᓙᓚᒃᓮᒃකුත් hin inuakpart daiminilu inuakparnikukiunik ang ᓙᓚᒃᓮᒃᓏt aglan pitirot kanukhihaugnikanga itrohanga tutkangitsuarkuk aglan ilhimarak ᓄᕕअᓗηni naguruk wuk ang ᓙᓚᒃᓮᒃ Inuit kanudun laka Allen kuleaktok ikayugniaktuklu daitna Inuit tutkitlagait matingat naguratun daiminiki ang ᓙᓚᒃᓮrak mikingagami kuwehoktok ang ᓙᓚᒃᓮᒃ ang ᓪᓗ Uvahin daudagniaktuhi Inuit Alberta-Gamut Association kut ikayokti service makpiganget daudalakyung una udagniaktukut 2 minutes mukpan. Aritu ᓄᕕഅᓗ이ითხ ᓄᕕᒃꒃ ᓴᖅကိᔮկauti지ᔬᓅ Kautnegia, Margaret Elias, Igahun Mituk, Bangmapak, Kulakdogniaktuk, Davni, White Fox Jamboree, Bihagnikami, Ahin Atlaniklu, workshops Nik Ilauginikami. Good afternoon, Margaret. Can you get bit?
Hi, is it okay if I introduce myself in the language?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Atiga Margaret Duxon Elias, Dukdayak Tı떵뒪uut Inuvialuit.
And you're in Sachs Harbor right now?
Yes,
Igahuk.
I'm currently in Igahuk in Sachs Harbor. We came up for the already said that wrong. White Fox Jamboree.
Awesome. There's been a lot of jamborees going on, so totally understandable. Thank you so much for speaking with me today. And I'll start by asking you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself so that our viewers can get to know you a little bit?
Yeah, my name is Margaret Elias. I am from Tı떵ᒪuut. I grew up there and I moved to Inuvik about 10 years ago. I was living here on Banks Island in Ikahok in Sachs Harbor. I was living here before that with my husband. And I have been working with the Inuvialuit Communication Society, ICS, for about 4 years now. I am currently the production coordinator, and ICS was invited up to Sachs Harbor to film the jamboree. So naturally, living here previously with my husband and his family, it was an easy yes to come back for the jamboree.
That sounds so exciting. Also, can you tell us a little bit about the White Fox Jamboree events that just took place?
Yeah, it's the White Fox Jamboree. It's the community here is very small, and everybody pitches in to run the jamboree. I'm not sure how many years we had gone without having one, but they wanted to have one this year. And they previously, the ones I know that I've attended were later in the season. And when speaking to the recreation coordinator Doreen, she said that they wanted to go back to the traditional time of the jamboree, so they held it in May when they used to hold it. So that's why it's a little bit earlier than what I've experienced before. But it was really, the weather here has been really nice. So
Awesome. Do you attend very often?
I cannot recall how many I've been to, only because they did go quite a few years in between. I know that I attended a few in 2000 and I believe 8, 9, 10. And maybe my last one that I attended was 2017. That was when I lived here last. And so I honestly don't know when was the last time they had one, but I do know that this was the first opportunity that was given to me to come back for one for work, not to attend personally.
Awesome. What were some of the events that took place there?
So they had a full schedule. We they The way they do it here and in the other communities, but specifically here, they include everyone from all ages in almost every event. It's like that in the other communities too, but because our community is so small, everyone is included. So it would be for the majority of the daytime, we're outside, out on the beach. And I did question that, thinking that might be cold, but the weather was so lovely, like no one was cold. And they would do all of the kids games, and the kids loved all of the games that they got to do. And then it would be followed by all the adult version of the same games. So it would be like foot races, sled pulling, egg and spoon races, what I'm trying to think, like the White Fox Run. Like they had the White Fox Run where it's a foot race and someone will be holding a white fox at the end of the finish line, and the first one to grab the white fox gets to keep it. That's always really
Wow.
fun to watch. Yes, they do it for men and women, so it's the White Fox Run. Um, and then after they're done those events, then they'll move into community feast. And for the kids, they're so centered around the children here too, that as they were running the adult events, which consisted of like they called it casino night, they held the casino night here, which is playing, I believe it was crib and poker for gas prizes. And then at the same time, they would also run the square dance and the square dance lessons and the jigging lessons. They would run that, and all the kids would go to that at the same exact time. So the whole community was just consistently busy Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. That was what the structure looked like. And then in the evening, we would all go back to the hall, or not the hall, the gym, and it would be some sort of community event like a community feast. And on Sunday night they had the talent show and the jigging contest. So it was just like, it was very community based, which I really liked. Yeah. And when I say community, Sax Harbor is a very small community. So when I say community, I mean like almost every single person in the community is at the event.
Awesome. What is the population now in Igahuk?
Um, what I think it is, I think there's about 80 people who live here, but what I've heard is there's about 100 people who live here now. So it's very, very small. Yeah.
Awesome. And since we have a couple of minutes left, were there other workshops that you're taking part in?
Yes.
Since
The Western Arctic Youth Collective, they partnered with the Recreation Committee and the Hamlet. And they helped sponsor a lot of the event, and a part of that sponsor was they brought up Bambi Amos and Lena Kudakok, and Bambi is doing a sealskin mitt making workshop, and that's from Monday to Wednesday, I believe. And then Lena Kudakok is doing parka making, or a dicklooks she's making. And the all of the materials are provided, and they have like undivided attention from these ladies. And I'm participating with Bambi, and I'm making my first pair of boxer style sealskin mittens with her.
awesome. Well, thank you so much, Margaret, for taking the time out of your fun, busy schedule. It sounds so exciting. And I just envy you for being able to take part in those workshops as well. And you look like you have a nice tan already from being
maybe
outdoors.
maybe some windburn. Yeah.
Uh,
Hmm.
all right.
Okay, thank you, Dodie, for having me on.
You're most welcome. Dautuk Dohi, Bambi Elias, Ikahung Mituk, Davini White Fox,
Margaret Elias.
Green. Margaret Elias. Sorry about that. That was Margaret Elias speaking from Ikahuk and taking part in the events there. Uh, but for now, we'll go to a 2-minute clip. Akarat uvlongat ni Dautuk Nyaktuhi Ilangit Iduita Divinikangani Akarat uvlonik. ᓿᕐ땗 kiniktuagaliunik utiginiaktukut 2 minutes mukban. Tawdoktohi ilangit agarat uvlongat kinaganat pitjangat itkautikablugat ilavot ilangit ilangitlu kuinak barak ilanatka inuitlu ilatkalu tiginik mga agarat uvlongat ni pitjanik ukiukigulu diut lagiki daitnahinik. And your word of the week for the Inuvialuit word of the week is ᓪᕕഅᓗïþ. ᓪᕕഅᓗïþ. See you later. And you notice the T is there in the spelling of ᓪᕕஅᓗ, but it's like a silent T. ᓪᕕअᓗ. See you later. So if you're visiting with someone and you want to tell them you'll see them later, or instead of goodbye, we really don't have a word for goodbye. So if you're going to see someone later, you can say ᓪᕕअᓗ. Uvagut TV ubanga ᓵᓅꒃᓴᐃᓪᓗ Dodie Malegana kuinak barak dautakta ᓵᓅကိᔮακauᑎ지ᔪ� kuinak barak lu ipilukak Jean ikpakohak kuleaktoakavetlu ulokaktumin kuinak barak lu Margaret Elias lu ukakidik mga ikahungmin kuvehoviraktonik White Fox Jamboree ni ilawin kami davni ikahungmi hinlo atlanik workshop nik ilawin man hinlo kuinak barak dautakta kafi uvlubak nakuvirnik uvli lauti mauhi ᓵᓪꒃᓮ hin ᓪᓗகுት 11 o'clock mukban, 1 o'clock mukban Eastern Standard Time, 11 o'clock mukban Mountain Standard Time. Hin lo ᓪᕗઅᓗ daudugniyaktohi Bambi Amos kakidigniyagya ikahung meet namilo. ᓪᕗअᓗ. Baglagep si ᓄᕕᐊᓗᐃþ Inuvialuit Pivalliajut ᓄᕕᓗकुৎ Uvagut ᓴᓅกิ้ᔮկauṭi지ᔪৎ ᓪᓗ ᓪᕕഅᓗᐃþ ᓪᕕᓗkuৎ ᓪᕕஅᓗimis Inuviagut auldagan. ᓪᕕαᓗiþ Bambi davini ikahungmituk ilaurinaqua White Fox Jamboree nikahin mikogininik tanwangitwat inubenik mikogininik ᓕᓕഅᓗiಥ ᓪᕗkuৎ taniktun ᓕᓕஅᓗiþ. Akina Bambi kanukit bit. How are you?
I'm doing good. Yes, I'm doing really good. I'm finally back home in Sax Harbor, so I'm doing good.
Awesome. Before we start the interview, can you tell us a little bit about yourself so that some viewers who may not know you can connect with who you are?
Yes, my name is Bambi Amos Dagi Luk Aulagan. I'm named after both of my grandmothers. I'm born and raised in Inuvik, and I lived in Sax Harbor, Ikahuk, back and forth too. My parents were raised here, so
Mhm.
yeah, I lived in Inuvik and Sax Harbor and түᓵᓃәкауտи지ᔪৎ as well.
Awesome. That sounds really interesting. Also, can you tell us what does it mean to you to be an Inuvialuit traditional artist?
I think it's my whole life. Like being an artist in general is what I'm meant to do, I believe. I just feel so honored to be able to live my life this way and to share it also. I sew and I travel across Canada for markets. And I also do workshops. So I am very passionate about sewing and beading and doing embroidery. And so I'm able to share that as well with my workshops.
Awesome. So, what does a day look like for you being a traditional artist?
So I do this full time. It's my job. So pretty much my whole day consists of doing some type of art. I also want to add that I write poetry as well. I take photography, and I also draw. So it's a really big part of my life. Being an Inuvialuit artist, I get to connect with my culture, learn things that that were kind of forgotten over the generations. So I'm really thankful to gain that knowledge,
That's awesome.
relearn it. Yeah.
Right. That's excellent. Can you tell us about some of the traditional arts that you create? I know you touched on some of them, but can you elaborate on some of the other traditional artwork that you do in more detail?
Sure. I love earrings. Ever since I was a little girl, I just loved earrings. I just thought they're so very pretty. So these earrings shown here, they're beaded on moose hide. They have a caribou antler center, and I put sealskin on the backs of my earrings as well.
That's
And
awesome.
And the next pair here, they're purple embroidered. They have some bead accents on them as well, and they are backed with sealskin also. And this is a pair of sealskin mucklucks that I made. They have moose hide on the bottom and laces. So much fun making these, honestly. Like the ring seal is so pretty, and you know, in our region we live closely with the Gwich'in too, so we use their moose hide as well. So I love working with those materials, and beading is my favorite.
Awesome. How did you learn
Hmm.
to create all the earrings and the mucklucks and all the art that you do? How did you learn to create them all?
It was in 2008 when I learned how to do embroidery from my cousin, Kimberly Lucas. She's from here, from Sax Harbor, and then that same year I attended our Sax Harbor Community Corporation, which is a division of our Inuvialuit Regional Corporation. Um, So they had a sewing class once a week. And I did that off and on for about 2 years. So we learned almost everything. And um, and then a few years went by, and my instructor at the time, Lena Wolke, she asked me if I wanted to attend the Great Northern Arts Festival in Inuvik with her. So I was able to do that, and that's where I learned how to bead. I met a friend who is Inuvialuit, and she lived down south. She came up for the festival and taught me how to bead.
That is awesome. It's so neat to have teachers and different places that you learn and hone your skills. What and who inspired you to get into the traditional artwork that you do?
That has to be my mom. My mom has always been my inspiration and the little push. She's always been there, so supportive for me. My mom is definitely the person who told me, Bambi, you should learn how to do some embroidery. Bambi, you should sew. Go to the sewing class. get your cousin. Get your cousin to teach you. So, in my traditional cultural life and artist life, my mom was always that little push that in a positive way, and in life as well in general.
That is so nice, especially considering that Mother's Day just passed. What a nice Mother's Day tribute for your mom. Anyways, when did you get really serious about doing your traditional artwork?
I first started selling my work when I was a student. I went down to Fort Smith for college, and to make a little bit of money on the side, I started sewing little oak stuffies and mitts. Um, I started selling them and making a little extra money, because you know how it is to be a student.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So um, after that, I sold my things once in a while because I started working full time. Um, and then when it was COVID, I was home and not much was happening with work. I had my work computer open, and I'd do some work, and I had to check emails and things like that. But not much was happening, like even in the work settings. But I'd sit there and sew. And when it was time to go back to work, I I knew I couldn't do it. I knew that I had to stay on my sewing path.
Oh, wow, that's exciting. And you mentioned that you've taken some workshops, but now you're doing some workshops and you're presenting at workshops. Can you tell us about some of the workshops that you're doing and the workshop that you're presenting in Ikahok?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, over the years, I had some people in Inuvik that asked me if I wanted to do some workshops because they knew that I sewed. And I didn't feel like I was ready at the time, but it took a couple of years from them asking me, and I'm glad that they did. I'm glad that they kept asking me, because eventually I said yes. So I'm really thankful for that. So I do beading workshops, embroidery workshops, I do ukpik stuffies. I do a lot of different types of workshops. I do mitts, and that's what we're doing here today in Sax Harbor. And I just have to say that the students here, or the participants that are in my workshop, they're young. They're young kids in the community, and they want to learn how to make mitts. So we're making sealskin boxer mitts.
That's awesome. That sounds so exciting. I'm sure they're just as excited to take them. I'm kind of envious of them too. We'll have to get you to come to Edmonton to do some workshops like that. So where have your workshops taken you? You've mentioned that you've gone there, and have it taken you elsewhere to do your workshops?
Mostly in Inuvik. I get a lot of requests, so many requests, and I'm very, very thankful that people want to learn again, and that their organizations and people are reaching out to me, and I feel so honored to be doing that. And I traveled out to IRC's wellness camp at Reindeer Station. I went out there a few times with boat and by ice road in the winter. I went down to the Fort Liard First Nation in the Yukon. I did a workshop down there, and I traveled up here to Sax Harbor, and who knows where I'll go next. I do want to travel and do workshops.
That's exciting. What do you love most about what you do?
I think it's the connection with the people, being able to share what I know, and I also learn too. So I really like that.
Right. Was there some fears that you had to overcome in the works that you do?
Yes, definitely. Talking to people, talking to in like a public setting or group setting, and even something like this, like in this interview. Yeah.
And what helped you to overcome those fears?
Just doing it. Honestly, you just have to do it, and it becomes easier.
It does, doesn't it? And if you were to do anything, differently, if you had to start your journey over, what would you do differently?
I would not do anything differently. I think that I'm very happy. I'm very, very happy in what I do, and it's my passion. And I think that this path is going the way it's supposed to be.
That's exciting. I love when things fall into place. You also mentioned poetry. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Poetry is something that I use as an expression from being out on the land. When I'm out on the land, outdoors, anywhere, even if it's in town, I'm very, very inspired by the trees, the land, everything, rocks, flowers, plants, the hills, the snow, everything. I'm so inspired. I'm so in awe by things. So I started taking photos. I started taking a lot of photos when I was walking, or like being in the bush or out on the land and stuff. And I realized that there was kind of a story in my photos. So words just started like coming into my brain. So I knew that I had to let those out some way. So they came out in poems.
Wow, that is so nice. And before we close, Bambi, do you have any closing comments, including how people can get a hold of you if they'd like you to come and teach a workshop?
So my business is Bambi's Traditional Arts. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, anywhere. You can search up my name, or you can check my social media. And you can contact me anyway. My information is public.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bambi, for taking the time out of your busy schedule and speaking with us while you're in Igahok, and safe travels back home to Inuvik.
Thank you so much, Dodie. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.
Daughter Bambi, Dagiluk, Aulagan, Amos, Inuvialuit Pivalliajut, ᓄᕕഅᓗဣþ, Uvahin, Daughter Lakyung, ᓄᕕഅᓗဣþ 101 will be back in 2 minutes.
ᓄᕕăʔα̈κpaglutit. Take time to rest. Inuvialuit. Do not worry too much. ᓄᕕăʔαΐθ. They are playing. ᓴᖅကိᔮկauտιτ. They are jumping. ᓿκακauտιτ. They have crossed the water, the landmass, or over.
Daughter Inuvialuit Pivalliajut ᓄᕕઅᓗဣθ 101. Daughter Hilu Akku Bambi Amos ᓄᕕअᓗဣþ Igahungmi Ilihautri Mikogininik Davani. Ahinlu ᓴᓅကိᔮκauṭ Ilihautriruk ᓪᓗகுৎ Uvagut Bambi Amos Inuvialuit Kanutun Mikogininik Ilihautri workshop Nick Ilihautri Humilika Inuving Aulactagaving Milu Reindeer Station Milu Igahung Mi Tuklu Bangmapak Ilihautri workshop Mikogininiklu ᓪᓗகுৎ Kuve Huvirak Tuklu Nudakat ᓕᓕഅᓗဣθ Kulingugudailuk Nik Ukiunik Unni Iliha Huktot Mikogininik Hinlu Igahung Mi White Fox Jamboree Niklu Davani Bikamiraganikangat Hinlu Akangaguk Bambi Akangaguk Kuliutigukanga mikogininik ilichikublugo daitna kamagikanga kanga ukautigok matrung ilichikublugo mikogininik hin kuleaktoak lu havagurak lu havagavengatni aglan bichiviraginic mikogininik daitna ihumarak adaramik daitna hinik mikogininik huliragavingnik lu hiutiglik lu kamiliogininik lu atlanik lu atnoganik lu atekluliogininik lu atlanik lu mikogininik ilichik paraginic kwak daimini ilihagaya kami lu manin yagurak ilihak pangmi ilauginik kami hin lu atlat lu inuit workshop nik ilauginik man ilichiginik kwak lu uva hin chikaiganik kapta uva nga shukralok Dodie Malegana kuyinak barak bambi dagilikok aulagan emis ukakadik mga uvulubak hinlu daudet lagi ki atlanik daudet dog but kinik dog liungnik kaki haragun Facebook mi YouTube mi lu atlanik lu Inuvialuit lu inuktitut lu daudet dognik daudet lagi ki hana hui ki lu